Namaste Prema Rupaya Namaste Paramatmane Namaste Shrininathaya Namaste Satyasaine सविनय सप्रेम सकुटुंब सहित कोटि कोटि साष्टांग दंड प्रणाम at the divine lotus feet of my beloved Bhagavan. As I understand, when I received the flyer that brother wanted me to speak about the gratitude. Well, first of all, I must express my own gratitude for having named me as Sai Puppet. You must be wondering that this is something which has been adopted by me. Kadu kadu. No. It was Whitefield. Bhagavan was in a very jovial mood. When I entered into the main hall, Swami asked me to say that, Puppet, you come and sit next to me and give a talk. I think I spoke for about 1 hour and 20 minutes or so, and then I sat down. And then Swami asked me, Puppet, tell them, what's your name? So I said, Baba, my name is Ajit and my surname is Popat. He said, spell it out. I said, P-O-P-A-T. So Baba then came forward as he was sitting in the Zula. And he was looking directly into my eyes and said, I don't like Ajit, nor I like Puppet. Popat. Now, from today, from this very moment, you are my puppet. And then Swami gave me the spelling also, P-U-P-P-E-T. You understand? I said, yes. He said, from today, your name is Sai Puppet. So whenever you speak anywhere, you remember that you are only a puppet. And the puppet doesn't do anything on its own. There is a puppeteer who normally, when you go to Rajasthan, you see, he is always behind the scene and the puppet does all sorts of things, but the puppeteer is never seen. I am very grateful to him that he gave me this name for which I remain indebted for throughout my life and also maybe in the next life. But best thing is that he is always visible to me. We had about 1 hour of bhajan, you see, and we were singing, you see. I don't know how many of you felt that Baba was sitting here. He was. As a matter of fact, the moment we started, the flower fell. He shows his presence, no doubt. Because that's the language that he has made us to understand. I'm going to, with Bhagavan's permission, I'm going to talk about 2 aspects of gratitude. One is the physical aspect in day-to-day worldly life. And the other one is spiritual life. When we come with the living master as he is accomplished, then the responsibility of the devotee or the people, those who are around him and those who are being led by him, has to have these 2 aspects of gratitude in day-to-day life. Let us understand, first of all. It was early morning, you see, when Swami came in, this was in Prashanti Nilayam, you see, Bhagavan came in the veranda. I had taken a group. I am taking you back to year 1990. We are now in 2022. Bhagavan came and he said, call your boys. I had taken a group of 22 people from London. They were mostly all English people. I mean the white people. He took us inside the interview room and then Bhagavan was giving us certain instructions and then suddenly he got up. He waved his hand and he materialized a beautiful watch for me. And he put it on. And because I had gone for the first time and this was my first experience, mind you, I had another interview before that in 1989 when I was not the leader of the group so-called, but I had gone as a member of the group. And that group was led by one of the Englishmen who was working for ITV, and then he could not come for the year 1990, and so I became the in charge, and so be it until Swami took Mahasamadhi. So as soon as Baba put the beautiful watch on my wrist, I said thank you. And Baba, standing next to me, he very beautifully smiled and he said, mention not. I expressed my gratitude to him. He doesn't accept it, but the fact is, I remember it was in Whitefield once, you see, Swami was telling me that, how shall you be grateful and gratitude, Popat? And to how many people are you going to express your gratitude in no uncertain terms? Sometimes, we are awfully full of gratitude and gratefulness, but we don't express it. But our Rishi Munis, in the Vedas, they have declared it in no uncertain terms. Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atithi Devo Bhava, Sraddhaya Deyam, Priya Deyam, Hiya Deyam, Swadhyaya Pravachanam na pramaditavyam, Swadhyayam na pramadaha. This is the Taittiriya Upanishad, the opening stanzas. You should be very grateful to the mother that she has brought you in this world, in physical form. You should be also grateful to your father, who became the instrument of the Lord to make sure that you come into this world as a human being. Pitru Devo Bhava, Matru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. Right from the time to KG to PhD, you are always guided by some teacher or a professor or a realized scholar, and he guides you on the right path, and then you ultimately end up saying that I am doctor, PhD. I remember we were in Kodaikanal, you see. I have this habit, from jumping from one place to another place, That's how the Popat does, in the real shores. So, we were in Kodaikanal, and then Swami that day was in a different mood, and there were 3 boys sitting in front of him. We were sitting in his lounge, and I was sitting just behind the students. And when Baba asked one of the boys, he said, hey, what are you doing here? He said, Swami, I am sitting at your lotus feet. Swami said, you are telling me or you are telling yourself? What are you doing in your institute? He said, Baba, I am doing PhD. Baba said, PhD? Hey, what about you? He said, Swami, I have already completed PhD. I am waiting for the job. The Swami said, if you don't get the job, then what are you going to do? He said, I'm going to go and join MBA because I want to stay with you all the time. Swami said, selfish man, but good selfish. And then Swami suddenly looked at me and he said, Popat. So I immediately got up, out of gratitude for remembering me. He asked me, Popat, what is your qualification? I said, Baba, my qualification? He said, yeah. I said, I ran away from the college and I joined the Indian Army. You see, that's my qualification. I'm not a graduate. He said, what? I said, I just ran away from the college. I was so inspired to join the army. It was only my Lieutenant Colonel, Banta Singh, you see. He was from Punjab. I was posted in a place known as Udhampur, which is from Pathankot, hundreds of miles away, going towards the Srinagar and then on to the border with the Pakistan. One day in the evening, you see, I had just come back after playing the badminton, and he asked me that I was by the time lieutenant, full lieutenant. I had 2 stars on my shoulder. He called me up and he said, hey lieutenant, tell me, what's your qualification? Same question which Baba asked me after so many years. I said, sir, I've just done my intermediate, and that was the minimum qualification which was required to join the army as an officer, as a commission officer. And he said when you will get back to the civil life and when you will be looking for a job, what will people think about you? Huh? They say, only you are a useless idiot, you are only an intermediate. If you say that I have done my BA with political science and then you say that I have done my master's degree with English literature, then it's something worthwhile saying. So he told me that, look, we are now in Udhampur. From Udhampur, Jammu is not very far and the war situation is not very bright. So why don't you do one thing? You go to the Jammu University and find out from the registrar and tell the bloody man that I am serving the army, and make sure that he admits you as an external student. So I went in my uniform, and he got up from this chair, because there is so much of respect to the army officers, even now. We are very grateful to the Indian Army, the Indian Navy and the Indian Air Force who are guarding the fort. So I told him that, look, I have come here with the intention of doing my graduation. He said, sir, but you are supposed to be doing, third year and then the fourth year and then you become a graduate, you see. I said, look, I don't have the bloody time. You see, the war is going to start pretty soon, you see. And I am based in Udhampur, and it is an operational area. So I cannot join any college or anything like that. He said, you want to come as the external student? I said, yeah. He said, then you've got to pass both the exams in 1 year. I said, okay. He said, I'll give the list of, he called another guy and he said that give the books of, list of the textbooks you see, and then what he's going to do. He said, what are you going to do with, what subject are you going to select as your main subject? I said, political science. Because politics is a hot cake. For all you know, if I'm good, I might become chief minister of some small state, So I came back, and my colonel was waiting for me that day in the evening near the officers' mess, and he said, what did you do? I said, I'm enrolled. He said, from tomorrow, you are not excess PT, physical training. You are not excess parade. You got to go and do all your work as you are doing it now. So don't tell me under the pretext that you have joined the external course and then you are going to become a graduate. That's a bonus that I have given it to you. And you will play badminton as an individual sports, and you will go and play basketball with the Jawans, and then you will play volleyball, and I want you to shine and guide them. And I don't want to hear this that you are not available, okay? So I used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and get ready and go for the PT with the students, with my Jawans, and my doggy used to follow me. And then I did my parade, and then I went to my office and did my work. I worked like I don't know what to say, like a dog. 8 hours a day, and in the evening my doggy used to go for a walk, so he took me actually for a walk, I didn't take him for a walk. And I did that, and then in the night, after dinner, during those days there was no light, there was only Lalten. I was not given even a Petromax. I used to read all the textbooks. I don't know how I managed it. I'm very grateful to Baba. I'm grateful to that colonel who has passed away. He was a brilliant man, very fatherly. And lo and behold, I was given only 10 days to go to Jammu and appear for all the political science, English literature. I appeared for all the exams and came back, and I never bothered to find out how many marks I achieved. It was only after we got married, and that was in the year 72, and it was 74 that I was inspired by another colonel who said that, why don't you become an IAS officer? Why don't you go and join UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, and you have been in Indian Army, you are a captain of the Indian Army. So, what's the big deal? You become an IAS officer, become a district collector, you become this, that and all, and I said, yeah. I got all the textbooks and found out, and they said, we want your mark sheet. I said, I beg your pardon? What is mark sheet? You said that you have done your BA with political science, where is the mark sheet? I said, I never bothered to find out where is the bloody mark sheet. So he said, find out. Can you believe it? This was in 1963, I passed out, 64 I was on the border. After the 65 war, I get this degree, and then in 74, I'm telling him, where is my mark sheet? But the guy he had so much of respect for the Indian Army, brothers and sisters, I don't know about this country, you see. Of course, we have a lot of British traditions even in the Indian Army. When it comes to say cheers, bang on. But apart from that, the Indian Army is a very, very professional army, you see. Extremely professionals. We do what we mean it. So I after such a long time, I managed to get out of this registrar office, and then by the time I'm sure he must have become either chief registrar in heaven or somewhere. It doesn't matter where. But they found out my mark sheet, and then I realized that I had passed my degree in first class. There you are. That's how the puppet is. But I actually got my degree from Baba that day in Whitefield, when he said, "Your name is Puppet." Until Baba took Mahasamadhi, I was known only as Puppet. It reminds me of another incident, you see. Swami, I always used to go there for the Gram Seva. And then during the Dashera festival, you see, there used to be Vidwan Mahasabha. Kapil knows about it. He has come a few times with me. So, Swami came out of interview room and he came to me, and I was sitting in the veranda, and he said, "Puppet, this afternoon, we have Vidwan Mahasabha. Baat karna. Speak today." I said, "Yes, Swami." This was the order from the puppet here. So I was very confident, you see. I was bubbling with the confidence and force and power, because I knew that puppet is only standing there only as a puppet, you see, because there is a puppeteer who is pulling the strings. He knows where to, which side to go, how to go, and what to say and what not to say. So, when the session was over, the morning session was over, I went to the Vice Chancellor, Professor Kokak. And out of courtesy, I went and told him, I said, "Sir, this afternoon, Swami has asked me to give a speech." So he took out a piece of paper and he showed it to me, and he said, "Your name is not here." He said, "I had shown this piece of paper to Baba, where 4 students' names have been included, and Baba has approved this, and they are the speakers, and this is the turn. Number 1 is so and so, number 2 is so and so, number 3 is so and so, and number 4, and then the bhajans will start, and the arati, and that's the end of it." He refused to accept it. And I don't blame him either, because this is what the protocol was. Swami came, in his own usual, amazing, most inimitable style, and he came and sat down, and then he gave the signal to start the Vidwan Mahasabha proceedings. The first talk was over, the second talk was over, and the third talk started, and Baba looked at me. And the way he looked at me, I knew it, that he was playing the game. And when the fourth talk was also over, Swami called the same Vice Chancellor and said, "Go and announce that we now have puppet show." Mention my name, Ajit Popat from London. Now is the next speaker. This is how, when he does such thing, out of the turn which you are not qualified for, out of the turn as a special grace, one should be extremely grateful to Baba. The fact that he is allowing us to sit together and he comes there and shows his presence, the fact that we are allowed to worship him. You imagine I don't know what is the current population of this country, but in India it is 140 million people. Out of that, how many people go and visit Dharmakshetra on a Sunday afternoon? 300? 400? Maximum 500? 500 people, what is the ratio? Those who have learned mathematics, try and find it out, work it out on your calculator. 100 million people, what is the percentage of that? 500 people. And you are there, and you are sitting with the man who said that he himself is God and he is Almighty. And the whole universe is here in my hand. Right? And he is allowing us to sing his glory. How fortunate we are. Somebody is sitting in the pub now, drinking, and he doesn't know what the hell is going to happen for his dinner. Whereas we have already, Brother Mitchell has already lined up our dinner also, am I right? There you are. We call it prasadam. Good luck to us. What I am trying to tell you is that when you come in proximity with the living master, brothers and sisters, if you go back and look at the history of Indian spirituality, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Deva, the great master, had only 16 direct disciples. How many? 16 direct disciples. Swami Vivekananda was number 1. Rakhan Maharaj was number 2, but yet he became the chairperson of the entire Ramakrishna mission and mutt. The Indian constitution has been amended I don't know how many times. Only Modi ji knows by now. But the constitution of Ramakrishna mission and mutt has not been even comma and full point is not even touched. Whatever Swamiji decided after his return from the United States of America, after running the World Conference, whatever he wrote it in his own handwriting, that constitution is still valid and it is followed in totality, without any questions. The American Constitution has been amended by every president, starting with Mr. Trump and Kennedy and everyone. The Indian Constitution has been amended, I don't know, at least about, I'm giving you a rough idea, it might be at least nearly 40 times. Most of the thing happened when Mr. Pandit Nehru was the Prime Minister of India. What I'm trying to tell you is that, but here we have the Master, who has got millions of devotees. How many? Millions. And nothing has been changed. He himself has composed bhajans, you know that. He himself used to sing bhajans for us, so that he can set an example for us. Are we not honored by him? Should we not be grateful to him? Huh? Should we not follow the instructions? For whom he established this super speciality hospital? For you and me, isn't it? I'm taking the liberty of giving you an example of my own case, because self-example is the best example, isn't it? It was in super speciality hospital, you see, I met Dr. Reddy. And he said, Popat, how are you? I said, I'm okay. He said, when are you going back to Bombay? I said, tomorrow morning. He said, Raghu has come from the United States of America, and we have installed the most high-tech new CT scan and MRI scan machine. The resolution is more than 1,000 times more than what it used to be. So I would like that you should do your scan. Very politely he told me, but very firmly. He said, don't go. I was put inside. Meanwhile, he had called up Baba's hospital in Whitefield and he managed to get a contrast. They call it MRI scan with contrast. So the resolution is magnified to an extent which is unbelievable. And when the next day morning when I went there, they gave me the contrast, I gulped it down. It was not very tasty, it was not basundi, or kheer, So I went through that. And after that, I was sitting around in one corner, and nobody was, as if I'm untouchable, nobody was coming to me. So, yeah. And then finally they asked me to wear the mask and everything, and I was taken into that main room where the big man was waiting for me, the scanning machine. And when the scan was over, and he said that, we will let you know, you wait around. Meanwhile, Dr. Raghu, who had come from the United States of America, he was sitting in the console room where he was actually, controlling the things, and he was seeing the image personally. He called me up. And he said, Popat, I want to show you something. Because I became not VIP, but mischief maker, in Prashanti Leela, because Baba used to give me so much of bhav, So, they all knew me. So he said, Popat, come and sit here next to me. I'm going to show you your heart. I said, yeah. And then what he did was that he magnified the resolutions and the image on the computer. And meanwhile, he was talking to Dr. Chaudhary, Warranty Chaudhary, because he was the director of the hospital. And he said, Chaudhary sir, Popat is here. He said, what is he doing there? He's going to give a talk there. He said, no. I've done this scan. Can you come? And the most amazing thing they said is that you have got 5 blockages. I said, I beg your pardon? He said, yeah, you got 5 blockages. So I said, what is to be done now? He said, well, you are not going to Bombay. And even if you want to go to Bombay, make sure that you go to nearest hospital and you get yourself admitted. You already got a cancer history. Huh? Lymphoma B cell, stage 3. To cut the long story short, I was not allowed to go. I am grateful to Dr. Reddy. I am grateful to Dr. Chaudhary. I am grateful to Baba for establishing that hospital. Ultimately, it was decided that I should be admitted. My loving daughter, she went down to one of the best hospitals in Bombay, you see, Lilavati Hospital, where normally all the big Bollywood stars, like Amitabh Bachchan and all the big stars, they go there for the treatment. And my dear wife was also there, and then they called me up and said that we are in Lilavati Hospital, then we are fixing up you. You are ready? We are going to admit you tomorrow. I said, what? So my first question was, being a baniya, I asked him, how much is it going to cost me? So she said 10 lakhs of rupees at least. I said, come back, don't pay don't pay a single penny. My daughter was upset. My wife is very kind, so she was not upset, but she said, I will talk to you later on. In other words, she said, I will fix you up. I am coming now. So they came back. And then my Ruma was very, very upset with me. He said, what's your problem? Huh? Why are you worried about the money? I said, I'm not worried about the money. I don't want to pay 10 lakhs of rupees to the Lilavati Hospital where business is being done. Take me to Bangalore. I will go and get admitted in Baba's hospital. And I will give the same 10 lakhs of rupees there, because then at least 10 heart valve operations will be done. That is our sense of gratitude. Huh? That much we can do for Baba, isn't it? You are doing it for your own health, but why? You have the cake and you eat it also, isn't it? Normally it doesn't happen like that. You ask British people, they will tell you can't have the cake and eat it also. Yeah. You want to go on long holiday? No, sorry, you're cancelled. I'm talking about the physical sense of gratitude. Brothers and sisters, I have not yet touched upon the spiritual side. We'll come to that in part 2. So, Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. Somebody comes to your house, I was just bypassed, I was going to the Avenue Road, and then I thought I should come and see you. How are you keeping? Fine. Oh, why the hell he has come now? I was watching this best serial, Huh? Where is he going to go? This record is going on inside the mind. Of course, you don't have the courage to tell him openly, you see. You don't want to get hammered either. But inside it is going on, blah, 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 blah. 360 miles per hour. He has come. You didn't invite him, he has come. That means he has been sent by somebody, isn't it? Who inspired him to come there in the first place? Why the hell he should come to see you? Huh? You are not Michael Jackson, are you? There you are. Atiti Devo Bhava. I will repeat. Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. In my case, that colonel became my inspiration. He said, in civil life, who will give you a job? So what, you are a captain of the Indian Army. You don't know anything about the way the things are being done outside world. You must qualify at least for the bare minimum graduation. I always remember him. Colonel Sahab, I salute you again and again and again. Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava, Swadhyayam na pramada. Every day morning, you see, I don't know what time you get up, you see, but if you try and get up early in the morning, you see, Swami told me once in interview room, he said, Popat, in the morning, our city lines are free. There is no Wi-Fi problem. And lines are free also. You don't have to make any payment there also. So why did you get up early in the morning when the lines are free? You talk to me. How many of you, I don't want to embarrass you by the way, you are my brothers and sisters, so I don't take the liberty of doing that. But how many of you really get up in the Brahma Muhurat? 4 o'clock? Okay, forget about 4 o'clock, it's too early. Last night we had a wonderful program, which was very good, very good. Holiday stars had come. 5 o'clock? 6 o'clock? Do you sit every day for 10 minutes with him when there is nothing else but your mind your body, mind, conscious is focused only on Him? I leave these questions with you. Swadhyaya pravachanam na pravaditavyam. This is the Priyakant, you know this? Swadhyaya pravachanam na pravaditavyam. Don't be slave. Don't feel that you are tired. Don't feel that you can avoid it for today and then I can do it tomorrow. No. Not pramadam. Pramad means alas. Trying to avoid the issue, knowing fully whether it is necessary and yet you don't admit it that you must do it. You can't waste time. Swadhyaya must be done. Whether it is the religious book or whether it is the mantra or whether it is the Satya Sai Speaks volume number 1 or volume number 30, it doesn't matter. But at least focus your mind on some superhuman power. Okay, if you don't accept Baba as God, at least he's a good man, isn't it? He's the best man India has seen. Forget about the world for the time being. He established 2 beautiful super specialty hospitals which is totally, completely free. Cardiac surgeon Neelam Desai is working day and night. Dr. Chaudhary was there. Under him, brothers and sisters, just for your kind information, I am telling you, Kapil, you have seen Dr. Chaudhary, isn't it? We have met him, right? He used to respect us so much, isn't it, when we used to go there. Under him, 1,000 doctors were working under him in California, United States of America. 1,000. Now here that man is standing in front of you and he is telling you that you need my treatment and I'll be honored if I can do it. I remember when I was taken into the operating theatre in Swami's hospital in Whitefield, Dr. Das, he was to do the procedure. He bowed down, but before that before he put these gloves, the surgical gloves, he put a lot of vibhuti on both the hands. Then he put the beautiful gloves and then he went and bowed down to Baba. He did Sashtang Dandavat Pranam. I was lying on the table and they were ready to make me sleep. And then the operation was supposed to start. But he did Sashtang Dandavat Pranam to me also. And I was so embarrassed. I said, Doctor, what are you doing? I am looking for something. He said, no, he's a puppet, bless me. I said, I should bless you? You must be joking. He said, you are Baba's devotee, isn't it? I take your blessing so that I will be able to perform the procedure for which Baba has given me this responsibility. That sense of awareness, that is gratitude. Mother has taught you how to roll the chapati. When she becomes 60-year-old and you are sitting there and you are saying, I'm very hungry, give me more. This is not correct. You see, Bindi, I don't like it. I told you so many times, blah, blah, blah. That your mama is 60-year-old now. If she has taught you how to make chapati, then at least you start rolling. Do something like that. Okay, you can't do that. Okay, go and at least buy something for her. How many of you have bought saris for your wives? I don't want to embarrass you. Once a year? I doubt. Birthday time, no, we are going to Chinese. Go to China, no? Made in China. Then there is, of course, spiritual gratitude. Whether you believe in Rama or Krishna or Hanuman, Hanumanta, Balvanta, Gunamanta, Buddhimanta, Ramaduta, Shantiduta. These are the names which Baba had taught me. He was not a monkey. Your mind is monkey. In whatever name that you have trust, whatever name that you have been initiated, whether it is Shirdi Baba, Sai Baba or no Baba, because some of the Babas have created hell. But whosoever you have reverence and respect, express your gratitude by joining the mission in the right manner. Whatever he has established. I remember the other day I was giving a talk on the Zoom and I was telling that when Swami decided that Sri Satya Sai Seva International Organization is established, he named it, isn't it? Didn't he name it? You mean to say that Baba didn't know the spelling of global? You mean to say that Baba did not know the spelling of universal? He could have easily said Sri Satya Sai Seva Organization Universal. He could have easily said some other name. But he gave a specific name. So don't humiliate him. Because we are in Britain, it reminds me of a very wonderful incident which happened in Prashanti Nilayam. And Dr. Lucas Relly, you must have heard the name, those who are very old-time devotees of Baba. He was a very rich man, multi-millionaire. He was the chairperson of the Satya Sai Seva Organization in United Kingdom. He has written a number of books also. And he used to come to South Hall Center many times to give talks with myself and my wife. We had joined at that time. Believe you me, this guy is so polished, typical Englishman. I mean, to say it very mildly, he had a chip on his shoulder, you see. Right? Big man. He was called for the interview, you see. And Baba, of course, was talking to him in English, you see. And Monkey Mind was telling him that Baba's English is not, it's not proper, you see. Andhra accent, you see. Moment that thought came in his mind, suddenly the situation changed and Baba started talking to him in typical Oxford accent. It happened with me also. I had taken a group of boys, I don't know whether Kapil was there in the interview or not. And one guy who had come from the East London, you see, and he was talking in his Cockney accent, you see. And then he was, Baba asked me also, he said, Papa, what is he saying? I said, Baba, I'm trying to understand. I don't understand this guy. Brothers and sisters, he has established a mission. If you can't accomplish that mission, doesn't matter, but at least be part of it. Be loyal to him, na? What is stopping you? Ask yourself, who is coming? What is the obstacle in getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning? If you can't get up at 4 o'clock, okay, get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, but at least when you get up, at least say, Baba, Karagri Vasate Lakshmi Karamule Saraswati Karamadhetu Govinda Prabhate Karadarshan. Baba, I love you. Baba, I need you. Baba, I deserve you. These 3 sentences anybody can speak, no? You don't require any prompting. 3 times you tell him, believe me, brothers and sisters, your entire life he will take it over in the manner in which you want to excel yourself. Baba has never imposed anything on me. I went and saw Baba for the first time in 1983. We are now in 2022. Next year I will be completing 40 years. He has never imposed me that, Papa, you must go and do this thing, you must read Ramayana and you must do Upanishad and you must remember all 700 shlokas of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. He never gave me any such instruction. No. Do what you want to do, but do it properly and offer it to God as a flower. That much we can do, no? It doesn't cost any money. You love your mother, you love your father. I'll give you another beautiful incident about the gratitude. It was afternoon time. I got a message that Swami wanted to see me. So I was there at the residence of Swami in Yajur Mandir at 2:45. That time my wife was in London. My daughter had come with me, Ruma. And she said, Dad, where are you going? I said, Swami has called me, so I'm going there. So she said, I'm going to make pasta. She loves Italian food. She said, I'm going to make pasta, so as soon as evening bhajan is over, you come, we will have dinner together. This was the first time Ruma was with me, alone. So I said, yeah, I'll come. You wait for me. I went to Swami's residence and then Swami came out and he got inside the car and then I was standing there. In Yajur Mandir you have the Swami's residence, there is an identical Mandir next door which Swami was using it for some time for the meeting and most of the time they go down, you see. It was a storehouse. So I was standing there in the portico and Swami got inside the car and he went to Sai Kulwant Hall to give darshan. And then of course bhajan started. I was still waiting there. And Baba came, he got out of the car and then he went inside his residence. There was no eye contact. And there is no mobile to call Baba, you know. So I kept on waiting there. At 7:30, Professor Venkatraman, Professor Giri, Vice Chancellor, Gokak, and then Chakravarti Garu, they all came out because they already had prasadam with Swami. We call it dinner in English. So, Ratnachal was also there, by the way. So they had prasadam with Swami, and when they came and they saw her standing there, they said, "Papa, what are you doing here?" So I said, "I'm waiting." "You are waiting for Swami to call you? But he'll be going upstairs just now. Evening program is over." So I said, "Sir, I'm waiting." So they said, "Good luck." Chakravarti said, "Good luck, Popat. See you tomorrow." I said, "Yeah, inshallah. God willing, we will see you tomorrow." Meanwhile, the Sevadar workers who are actually looking after the security of the Yajur Mandir, Mr. Pradhan came. He was in charge. He said, "Popat sir, you are still waiting here?" By the time it was almost 8:30. I said, "Yes, I am waiting because Swami told me that he wants to see me, so I will wait." It was almost 9:30 at night. Our friend SriAjit came there and he brought a chair for me, plastic chair, you know. And he said, "Popat sir, you sit down." I said, "Is Swami still downstairs or he has gone up?" "No, he said he's there. But everything is, lights have been switched off and I'm going for a walk." So SriAjit went for a walk. He came back after about half an hour. By the time it was past 10 o'clock. And he went inside Yajur Mandir and came back within 2 minutes and he said, "Popat sir, Swami has gone upstairs. Now there is no possibility. There is going to call you. Baba has gone to his bedroom. So you can, I think, pray to him tomorrow and then he will see you tomorrow." It was very nice to me. He's trying to console me. The drama started when I reached my room, you know, Prem Kutir. That was the name given by my boys, isn't it? Ruma was sleeping actually on the dining table. In typical Bollywood style, you know. The door was luckily open, otherwise I had to disturb her. She was waiting. I felt very sorry for Ruma because she had made pasta for me and she had made some soup for me and she wanted to have dinner with me. And without making any further noise and I went and I was ready. I said, "Ruma." So she got up. She said, "Daddy, what time? What is the time? What is the time? Where were you?" I said, "Let's eat first." So we had dinner together. And he said, "What did Baba say?" "You went at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Huh? You are coming back after 7 hours. What did Baba say?" I said, "He didn't call me." He said, "What?" "Well, this is rather very rude. I mean, British citizen." She said, "This is very rude. Huh? He called you at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 o'clock you keep waiting and then he said that you don't talk to him and you come back. This is rude. Huh? I'm telling you." I said, "Listen, don't try to be clever. I know you have studied in Harvard and you have been graduate from Hatfield Hospital. Don't tell me all that." I said, leave it. I said, are you okay for now go to bed?" Next day morning, I go for the bhajan and morning darshan. Nothing happened. As if Swami thought I have already gone back to London, you see. He didn't look at me even. So there was no eye contact even. He came outside. He went inside the mandir and then during those days Baba used to sit in the mandir only. Na? And then bhajans were over and then Baba, program for the day was over in the morning. I came back. And Ruma was waiting for me, because she used to go from the ladies' side much earlier than me. My local train, her is the fast train, you see. So I am stopping at all stations, you see. Popat sir, any problem, everything is okay. When are you going back to London? Can you take my letter? So I went back to my room and Ruma was waiting for me and anxiously said, what did he say? I said, he didn't even look at me. Dad, this is very rude, I'm telling you. This is not done. I said, Ruma, nice. Darling daughter, sit down. I waited for the afternoon. And Swami called me in the interview room. And brothers and sisters, this is something which I think you should remember and write it down in your diary if you are maintaining any diary, apart from maintaining your accounts, Prashant knows that how to maintain it. Baba said only one statement. He said, puppet, waiting at the doorstep of God, I will repeat, waiting at the doorstep of God is a sadhana. It is not waiting. Priyakant Bhai, please remember this. Waiting at the doorstep of God is a sadhana. You go to Mahalakshmi temple and you have to stand in the queue and you say, the queue is very long and my knee is paining. You are not going for darshan. It is not accepted by the Lord. Even won't look at you. He could have said this, I am coming to that, that part of the dialogue I will tell you. Baba said that waiting at the doorstep of God is a sadhana. Papa, do you understand? I said, yes, Swami. So whenever I go to any temple, whether it is Hare Rama Hare Krishna temple in Bombay or when I go to Mahalakshmi temple or sometimes we go to Mama Devi temple, when any temple or any mandir I see it and I bow down, I know that this is my sadhana. How many of you really feel that when you go to mandir, your mind is focused on this aspect of gratitude? You go and see the managing director of a 5-star hotel or you go and see the managing director of a big company. What is your first reaction? Thank you very much for seeing me. Isn't it what you say? Very grateful. Sir, you are a very busy man, and you called me. You have spent so much of your valuable time. Do we say that to Pinakin Shah? Do you say that to you, Baba, from your heart? I'm not trying to put you on the spot, by the way. I have come here to give a talk and I want to come back again. Next time, otherwise people don't invite me, you see. I have a problem. Brothers and sisters, think about this. But the most amazing thing is, my Roma, she is great, amazing, I tell you. Product of 21st century, made in England. When I went back to my room, she asked me, did he finally speak to you or not? I said, he did. So what did he say? So I repeated the same sentence, waiting at the doorstep of God is sadhana. He said, he could have said it yesterday, no? Hey, only for this drama created. Baba, Daddy, sit down. There's a time for everything. Sometimes you have to repeat 2 things 20 times. He knows that puppet has got a thick mind. It must be driven into his consciousness. This is something which I am repeating again and again because I want you to remember this satsang, which he has done it with great difficulty. I know it. When you come with a living God, his style is different. There was a man who came and he started asking some very funny question to Bhagavan Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Deva. And he said, Thakur, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in my dream. And Master got excited. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, God Almighty came in your dream. What did he say? He said, he blessed me. He said, Sara Santosa, very happy, very happy, very happy. This Ramakrishna Swami who was sitting there, Shashi Maharaj, he said that But Thakur, this is only a dream. This is only a dream. You know what Master said? Bharat? He said, go to Panchmati and meditate. You won't understand now. God coming in your dream? No. It happens only when He wills it. It's a real thing. Many dreams come in our minds, in the subconscious state. When He comes there with His will. It is not a dream. Swami told me, Swapna darshan, Sai darshan. Swapna darshan, Sai darshan, Sai darshan, Satya darshan. Satya darshan, Sakshat darshan. I am repeating exactly Swami's word. This is what he told me in one of the interviews. I will repeat it. Swapna darshan, Sai darshan, Sai darshan, Satya darshan, Satya darshan, Sakshat darshan. It is as good as you are having an interview and whatever instructions are given. Swami has even made it he has made me aware that whatever instruction he has given me, they are actually the real one and they have to be implemented and they have to be executed. That much of gratitude and respect we must have for the Master. He has said it, na? That's it. And then of course, there is another aspect of physical way of expressing our gratitude. Educare, Medicare, social care. Correct? If you look at Swami's entire career on this physical form, it was focused only on these three aspects. Right from the time Baba was a small child, until he declared that he is Satya Sai Baba. Mother Ishwaramma was only forsaking you what was her desire, three desire. That in Puttaparthi there should be a small dispensary where poor people can go and get some medicine. Medicare. Ishwaramma said, Satya, try and arrange for pure water. Social care. Medicare, social care. And then he said, children are not able to go home. There is no school. Satya, open a small school. That school became a university. That dispensary became a super specialty hospital, isn't it, Tushar? In the record time. Thousands and thousands of operations have been done since the time of inception. And water project, we ourselves have gone. You were there, Bharat? You came with me, na? We went to the main station. We went to the substation. We went up to Anandpur reservoir. Swami asked me to go to Nigeria and get some of the devotees, and then we all went together. My brother Bharat came with me. And you will be surprised, here is a perfect guest and perfect host. I was telling you that he made me wait, but then that time Swami gave his own tiffin. He gave the menu. He called the canteen manager and said that these people have come, some of them have come from London, they are not used to this vada pav and this dosa and idli and sambar and all that. They have come, make some nice sandwich for them. The manager came and told us that this is what Swami has said. Perfect host. We were how many, Bharat? 18 of us. And 17 of us were wearing the ring. 17 rings were. These were all not done in 17 months. 2.5 days. Am I right? 3 days. Indulal Shah, international chairman, he was standing at the Bombay airport and then he took us to a 5-star hotel for breakfast. That was the order from Swami. And Mr. Gupta, who was the managing director of Lloyd's Steel, which is as big as Lloyd's Bank of UK. Such a big man was standing at the Puttaparthi airport with limousines lined up saying that Swami has sent me to take you. Now when he does so much for us out of the way, don't you say, at least say sorry, don't do it, please don't embarrass us. At least say thank you very much, Baba. That much gratitude. That whatever he says, we must believe it, that he is doing it only for our good. He is not going to lose anything. Huh? I leave these things. What time do you want me to finish? You You paid the whole, no? Brothers and sisters, let us remember three things, and then I will conclude. A, that we should be grateful to our parents that they have brought us into this being, number one. Second is, we should be grateful to Her Majesty's government that you all are living here. She has bestowed upon all of you British citizenship. Some of you are getting pension from Her Majesty's government. And then, no matter which party is in power, you are being looked after. The place is safe, you are protected. You follow the regulation and this place is safe. Ukraine is at war. After Second World War, UK has never gone into war, is it? That idiot Hitler was the last one. Afterwards, we have never gone into a war. So anybody, generations together, we are living here in this country very safely. So be grateful to this government and this country. And the third is our Master. He destined that we should become His contemporaries. We have seen Him in action, face to face. He set an example until the last moment, until the last breath. He knew it that in 2012 He will not be there, and yet He gave me the instruction and He approved. My wife is there. She was given the instructions that when everybody goes from the Sai Kulwantol, you should wait. And Swami had told me that you come to my residence. We went there with the samples for the Gram Seva. Swami, that was the last time I met Swami, and he blessed all the items which were required for that year's, when he knew it that he is going to the hospital. This was in the month of February, and Baba went in March, and we came back to London. Until the last moment, he was in contact. And he told me, Popat, group leke aana, come back with the group. And for your kind information, brothers and sisters, one of my sister, she came with a baby who was, how old she was? 3 months old. My wife is confirmed just now. 3 months old, baby came as a member of the group. And I had gone there after my first chemotherapy. Her Majesty's government, the medical people, they were not giving the permission. I said, I will come back and then you do the second chemo. He said, normally we don't allow patient to go. Yeah, chemo starts, you've got to be there. And we went right after the director of NHS, and then we got the information confirmed. My Baba has told me, bring the group, I must go. Even if I have to die, I will die in his place. That much we owe him. The rest, everything, he makes it possible. Because there is no such word as impossible. Swami was telling us in Kodaikanal, I am possible. Perfect. With science, everything is possible. We must have that much trust and belief. And obviously, it must be, it's not that something is imposed from somewhere, It is not written in any law book. It becomes our conviction. You give me any difficult job and I will say, yes, I will do it. Because I know it 100% that he is going to do it. And he will give me the credit. Silence speaks volumes. When I was a child, you see, my father initiated me in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and I learnt, starting with first chapter to 18th chapter. And then he used to take me to attend the spiritual discourses. Whenever we meet Swami, in darshan time he hardly used to speak to, if there are 2,000 people sitting there, he has hardly spoken to 6 or 7 people. He must have given Path Namaskar to maybe 10 people. You look at all the videos and then you will see it and count it. But everybody feels that he is blessed. Everybody knows in their inner court of heart, that their questions have been answered. Every time when the flower falls, then we know that His presence is experienced and then the vibrations changed. And there is the inner joy, am I right? Who can give such transformation without saying a word? I can stand here for the rest of the night and keep on going on, because He asked me to bring number of groups from United Kingdom. We took so many groups, charter flights, then Gram Seva, then Sadhana camp. And I feel very blessed to meet Sai brothers and sisters. We have got such huge, massive family. If somebody says, how many members in the family? I always say, you got your calculator? Because you can stop. Wherever we go, I visited a number of countries. You are always welcome there. You are part of that family. It's amazing. I've got many examples to tell you how best we can. But I leave it to you to do this sadhana. And tonight, before you go to bed, for God's sake, ask yourself, how can I express my gratitude? Starting with my family, starting with my loved ones, starting with Baba. How can I? Okay, Baba is not here in physical form, but we believe that he is here. My father is not here. He died long time ago. But when I see his mother, when Bharat will come to my house and he will see the beautiful photograph of my father's on the frame, he will ask me, Popat sir, who is he? What will I say? You are my father or he is my father? What language do I use? Huh? He is my father. He is my mother. He is my brother. He is my God. That photo is not photo. That photo is your childhood. It reminds you of everything. Isn't it? Same thing applies to Baba. He is part of us. We are his part. Our relationship is permanent. Let us remember that. Sarvavastu samarpayami to Sarveshwara. Sachidananda Swarupa Sarvantaryami Swarupa Satya Dharma Shanti Prema Swarupa Avtara Satyam Shivam Sundaram Avtara Sarva Devata Avtara Sarva Shakti Swarupa Avtara Sarva Mantra Tantra Yantra Swarupa Avtara Sadguru Devaguru Jagadguru Sri Sachidananda Prabhu Sri Sainath Maharaj Ki खाना नहीं खाया अभी खाएगा दम नहीं है पावर नहीं है बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साईं बाबा जी के थोड़ा कम हो गया लास्ट टाइम पावर नहीं है जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साईं बाबा जी की पहले क्यों नहीं बोला
Thank you so much, Uncle, for sharing your experiences and your learnings from the many interactions with our Master. Waiting at the doorstep of God is a sadhana, a simple and short statement, but so much for us to understand and implement. Today's talk was a timely reminder on gratitude, making us realize how much we have to be grateful for. Perhaps at the same time, how much we take for granted. I love you, Swami. I need you, Swami. I deserve you, Swami. Let this be our mantra as we continue on our spiritual journey. Ajit Uncle, thank you are small words, but thank you once again from the bottom of the heart. May I politely request PK Uncle and Anjana Auntie to come up and present a small token of our appreciation to Ajit Uncle and Surya Auntie.